Well, good morning. It is Wednesday, it's hump day, and holy crap, Karl Marx is trending on Twitter. I don't know why. Oh, wait, yeah, I do. And you'll never guess. Is it because Karl Marx is, hang on a minute, looks like I'm coming in a little hot there. That should help. That should make a difference. That's better. Okay, so, is it because all of a sudden that the world has become even more communist? No, as it turns out, apparently, Karl Marx is trending on Twitter because somebody said he's prettier than one of the K-pop singers. This cat named Jen. And when I say trending, guys, apparently Karl Marx has apparently there's just thousands of mentions of Karl Marx in the last hour. And that is hilarious. Oh, look, Cameron's trying to call. I don't know what happened. Okay, you guys bear with me a second. I'm going to go ahead and try to pull Cameron in. I may have to go dark over here for a second. We should be streaming again. Looks like the YouTube stream stayed up. But oh, hey, somehow we're still live on Facebook too, so it all worked out. Groovy. Good morning, party people. Okay, so
Danny, right?
My Skype video is not coming through now.
Live is hard mode.
Live is hard mode. You talk, I'll fix.
Okay. Nope. Sorry. I got,
Okay, why don't you talk about how the Michigan electors cut to threats from the left last night?
Wait, what?
Oh, well, would have been useful if you knew things.
Look, man, I'm sorry. Last night and this morning they were interesting. And then today is also going to be interesting.
Okay. Well,
But no, seriously, what happened in Michigan?
Well,
please
okay,
enlighten
so
me.
In Detroit, last night, the board there that certifies the election in Detroit, it's 2 Republicans and 2 Democrats. 2 Republicans and 2 Democrats, and the 2 Republicans were refusing to certify the election over the various inconsistencies and problems. There have been problems, right? So they were refusing to certify until just last minute last night. Finally, they certified. Lindsay says I'm a robot again. Y'all bear with me. I'm gonna make one quick change. Probably gonna go black out while we do it, and I'll be right back with you.
Okay. Yes, well, you make fun of me all the time. I mean, for our intro, you chose the biggest possible bitch look for me possible. So Detroit's like, yeah, nothing to see here. It'll be fine, basically.
So it turns out that as part of securing the Republicans' vote to actually certify the election in Detroit, the other electors on the board doxed their children, and a bunch of people made death threats. I approve of your shocked face because you should find that shocking. Apparently, we're just not going to be on Facebook today, so we're stuck on YouTube. I'm just going to go ahead and make an announcement on Facebook, to that effect.
Okay, for real. Doxed children. I mean, again, once you're doxed, what's the point?
Yeah, you can't undox somebody.
And besides, supposedly Joe Biden is president-elect, and people are still rioting. If you give a child having a temper tantrum a piece of candy, what they learn is temper tantrums give me candy.
Yup. Yup.
Okay, this is just riveting content this morning. We're on fire.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to manage some tech support here.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Hard mode.
And that's partially my fault because normally we've got the pre-show roundup call, and I was unavailable for that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a whole lot of things I could talk about. It's probably not anything to do with what you put in the thumbnail, though.
Well, the thumbnail says, "Stop the steal. Karl Marx, Chris Krebs, and fact checkers as social engineers."
Yes, who fact checks the fact checkers?
We do. So, under our video on YouTube this morning, there is a banner that says U.S. elections. The AP has called the presidential race for Joe Biden. See more on Google. And I'm going to click the show me button.
Yeah, look, and speaking of show me and those banners, did you catch Ted Cruz he just spanked Jack Dorsey yesterday.
Again?
Yeah, again.
Wow.
Again. Used his own words against him to say, "Oh, okay, so you're a publisher." he kept trying to use all these weasel words like, "Well, no, we're just linking to a broader conversation." And so, like, he's literally reading quotes and said, "Okay, well, would you flag this? Okay, well, would you flag this? Oh, okay. Well, as soon as we're done here, I'm going to tweet out exactly what I just said, and we'll see if you flag it."
Wow.
Yeah. And I mean, I get it. Like, you happen to be the CEO of a company, so you're allowed to have a big beard. Your company, your rules. But dude, Jack Dorsey is looking rough. I mean,
yeah, I saw when he was on there the other day, and he looked absolutely terrible. I've got a big beard. I do. That I wash and brush.
Yeah.
Jack, I wash and brush.
I mean, I swear, the guy looks like he uses patchouli for soap.
Or just generally. He bought a bunch of ayahuasca and patchouli, and he took a shower with the ayahuasca and tried to smoke the patchouli. It didn't work out for him. So when you click on the fact check banner, this is all it shows you. This is what it does. It just sends you to the AP results on the election. Now, let's remember, we're talking about the same AP, which, despite Trump leading heavily in several states, up until about 3:30 in the morning on the night of the election, refused to call states which Trump had at that point clearly won. Like, clearly won, right? You go back in the Wayback Machine and you look at states like Wisconsin and Michigan and Pennsylvania, and Georgia even. Those are states where Donald Trump had clearly won the election in that state, and then they stopped counting, and magically, they came back at 4:45 in the morning, an hour after they said that they were going to stop counting. They sent all the poll watchers home. They hung Bristol boards up over the windows, and then magically, Joe Biden was in the lead.
Yeah, and they prepped us for this, right? And the news media was like, now look, it's going to look like Donald Trump won on election night, but we got to make sure all the votes are counted. And I just
this would be a very different conversation. This would be a very different conversation if they had not gone out of their way to interject additional shenanigans into the middle of that failure.
Well, I mean, it goes back to what Sydney said, that they thought they had it fixed, but then so many millions more people voted for Donald Trump that that they had to alter their code or whatever in the middle of the night. And apparently there's a second memory card that's come up here in Georgia now, in Fayette County. And
yes.
Look, we're just talking about another couple thousand votes. It's not enough. But again, how's that even possible? Like, what? Why? This stinks to high heaven.
It seems like it should not be possible to do that, to accidentally lose a memory card, unless it's intentional, right? I mean, we're talking about a system that's it's supposed to be an automated system, right? And we're hearing that, oh well, the problems that happened with the Dominion voting systems in this place and that place were actually because they were hand entered incorrectly. Well, wait. The problem with the automatic system is that it was used manually.
Yeah.
If it's an automated system, why is there a manual engagement?
Yeah, I guess we all thought
it's like my modern car failed to shift gears because I didn't manipulate the gear shifter in the car with the automatic transmission. I mean, yeah, if I'm driving my pick-em-up truck and I burn the clutch out or I blow up the transmission because I'm a dumbass and I forgot to shift when I needed to, that's one thing. It is a manual transmission. But we're not talking about hanging chads here. We're talking about an automated electronic system where the human error is the problem.
Yeah, Crowder made the joke yesterday that that somehow they managed to take the shittiest parts of a computer system and the shittiest parts of written ballots and ta-da! That's our hybrid system. Which, good Lord. Do you think part of what the strategy here is, why this is being drug out and slowed down and everything else, is this is part of the gaslighting operation? Folks like us are supposed to lose faith and think, okay, you know what? Maybe there's just not a lot here. Maybe there's a few thousand votes here and there, but okay, Joe Biden won. It sucks, but let's get over it.
I don't know, man. It's the gaslighting in the media this year has just been extraordinary. Because it's so blatant. It's so obvious. And somehow people are still falling for it.
Yeah, I really feel like the only honest journalist left is Tim Pool. Like it's terrifying.
Now, in fairness, Tim Pool hosts several journalists habitually who are also apparently quite solid, honest journalists. In fact, I would almost go so far as to remove them from the category of journalism because they don't, most of them aren't actively writing stories and publishing them about the things that they're experiencing. Oh God, what's his name on Slightly Offensive? Uh,
I don't know. I don't watch Tim Pool's friends. I just watch Tim Pool.
you should watch some Slightly Offensive. Damn, I can't remember the guy's name. If anybody can remember the guy's name and remind me, God, he works for the Blaze. He does shows with Tim Pool. He's got his channel Slightly Offensive. Let's see if I can find him real quick. But
Wait, Matt Walsh?
no, not Walsh. Um, Matt Walsh works for the Daily Wire.
I thought he was a contributor.
Elijah Schaefer. Elijah Schaefer.
Okay.
Matt Walsh may be a contributor over at the Blaze as well, but he's primarily on the Daily Wire. But Elijah Schaefer, he goes out to these events. He goes out to the riots and the protests and all that stuff with a camera and just shoots footage. He goes out and documents, journals, the activities. Now, quite separately, he has a YouTube channel where he does commentary on that stuff. And he's very much in line with our thinking, just a bit younger. I think he's like Tim Pool and them in his mid-30s. But again, just like him, several of the other guys that Pool habitually hosts, like he's got a group of guys that come on that call themselves the Riot Squad, and what they mean by the Riot Squad is they go to riots and film riots, and then distribute the raw, uncut footage of those riots in occurrence.
Oh, these the guys that are going to end up? Are these the guys that are going to end up saving Kyle Rittenhouse's ass?
Yeah, probably. Because they got active footage of basically the whole occurrence, and it's very, very clear that what happened there is a horde of radical left-wing terrorists attempted to murder Kyle Rittenhouse with a flaming dumpster and a gas station, which he promptly extinguished using a fire extinguisher, at which point the mob advanced and someone else fired a shot at Kyle Rittenhouse, to which he responded by turning to face his attacker, at which point an additional attacker grabbed his weapon and suffered the consequences of that poor decision. Following which occurrence, Rittenhouse attempted to approach the police to turn himself in, was further assaulted, and had to shoot another dude who, let's remember, pointed a gun at Rittenhouse before Rittenhouse fired the weapon at him. And then Rittenhouse continued to attempt to turn himself into the police, who were, as one might suspect in a riot, busy. So he went home and then turned himself into the police the next morning.
So we have a few minutes left. We've kind of been all over the place. Let me talk about something that I think is actually really important here in Georgia. Our current Secretary of State, I'll actually vote Democrat in this upcoming cycle just to make him leave. Because if we're going to have somebody that's going to favor the Democrats, might as well have a damn Democrat. Like, as far as I'm concerned, Mr. Brad has ruined himself. And if our governor doesn't actually stand up and take notice, I'd hate to think that Brian Kemp is part of the problem, but we didn't elect these guys so they could roll over. Because I actually learned it watching Polytech stream that the reason why the signature verification was watered down is because of Brad Raffensperger. You know what? I've deliberately slurred his name so many times. I now can't remember the actual name. But he's got to
It's
go.
Raffensperger. R-A double fuck you, Sinberger.
Oh, so there's your F bomb.
Yeah.
Whoops.
I've been trying to avoid him, but we're talking about Raffensperger, and he's got 2 F-bombs right in the middle of his name.
Yeah, and like seriously, that's cool. We just won't check the signatures.
And yeah, I haven't got as much information on this recount faux audit thing as I would like. I've been looking at some other things the last couple days around Dominion and the like, but it do I understand correctly that Fulton County just wasn't one of the counties that was audited?
um, no, there. Look, it's not really an audit. I don't give a damn what you call it. It's just a recount. It's not an audit. If we're not going to verify signatures and match data points to other data points, that's not an audit. I've been audited professionally. I literally had a guy from corporate office come and sit in my car all day, and he had a list, and he said, of these 25 clients of yours, we are going to touch at least 15 of them today. And I am going to record exactly what I see. And we did. That was an audit. He 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 had like my last 90 days of activity with those clients on a clipboard. And he literally took the clipboard because it was old school insurance. I had to go to their house. I literally had to sign a book that they had every time I went there, the dollar amount, payment date, all that kind of stuff. And that was an audit. He took a data point and compared it to another data point. And by the way, I passed that audit, which I knew that I would.
I should hope so.
Because I don't lie. Yeah. In fact, when it all came out for the year, I had a sum total of like $6 in variance for the year. I can live with that.
In insurance.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was probably just just some human error somewhere. I entered something wrong at one point in time, just by mistake. But yeah, no, this isn't an audit. So I mean, who gives a damn? Fine, do the recount. Don't do the recount. It doesn't matter. God, anyhow. Rafflesberger needs to go. Period. I don't know if he needs to get primaried. I don't even know what that process would look like. Maybe that's something Vernon Jones could run for. Maybe that's something Larry Cox could run for. I don't know. I really don't. But he's got to go. I have zero trust in our system while he is the Secretary of State.
Matt Parks, my favorite Ninja Turtle, who is personally obsessed with the Thundercats, says, "Here's $50. I've passed my audit." Oh, I see. You muted yourself so that you could spare poor Lindsay's ears. That was
Yes.
mighty kind of you.
I have my moments. They're rare, but I have them.
That's fair. Brother, that's about all I've got this morning. Since
That's all I've got. It's my fault. I
is.
just had.
It is.
Well, it was just kind of a crazy morning for me. I had distraction after distraction on my hands, and it was just. And then suddenly I realized, holy shit, it's almost 7:30. I should probably call Chris.
Steve says, "I hope history reflects that this election would have been negated by any sane society." I don't know, Steve.
If we're lucky.
That's assuming that the future that examines this history will have managed to regain its sanity from the woke left. And to that end, let me just say that the coming years, no matter who wins this year, it is time to point the finger. It is time to call people out. And it is time to remind people that the psychosis of the woke left, the abdication of reason and logic and immutable objective fact should not be tolerated. If a person is insane, as in a person believes things which are not true to be true, then you should point to that person and say, this person needs help. And if that person cannot be helped, then they need to be prevented from causing harm to themselves and others.
I'd be real careful with that being the standard, because part of their plan, I'm convinced of it at this point, is for us to be the crazy ones. We are the ones who are in denial of reality. At least that's going to be the line.
Yes, that is the argument that will be made by people who believe that just an unimaginable assortment of clearly false things.
Yes. But yeah, that's about all I got, man.
All right, brother. Y'all be safe out there, and we'll try to do better tomorrow. We'll try.
All right. Bye-bye.